This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome to the 27th episode of the How to Build a Black Nation with Power show, where we want to help our people understand and bring together the many pieces of our empowerment and freedom puzzle under one unified umbrella as much as possible to ensure we don't become a permanent underclass that was built on the backs in a country that was built on the backs of our people. We want our people to understand that we need to take into consideration what our people have already accomplished, what so many are still accomplishing, and understand that we're not starting from zero. There are a lot of us out here that are operating at a very high level. Given the fact that what we've been through, I don't take our existence lightly, because there have been a lot of melanated groups that have come into contact with European people who are no longer here. So I wear that as a badge of pride, because I think we are a very, very, very special, unique, and powerful people. My name is Tamani Mwandani. I'm the founder of the Black Gold Nation. I'm a direct product of the Shrines of the Black Madonna's efforts since 1953 to liberate said Black people by building a nation within a nation. The Black Gold Nation is headquartered in Houston, Texas, which is where I am. The show is titled, I learned that it's not a podcast last week, so I gotta stop saying that. The show is titled How to Build a Black Nation with Power, because we're trying to get our people to understand that this is possible. We can have connected communities, connected towns, villages, and cities whereby we are on the same page. But to do that, we need three things. We need a strong foundation, something that's already been tested, something that we can build upon. We need a spiritual connection with a higher power and one another. And we need leadership, hence why we're having the leadership election. Because if we don't know what we're doing, we're going to keep making the same mistakes. So it's always funny to me when I hear Black people say, we don't need leadership. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know what we're doing. We keep making the same mistakes. Of course we need leadership. So we're trying to find people who know what they're doing in the critical areas, again, by which we're so far behind, which is every area, so that we can move forward with a unified approach to build and do. So tonight we're gonna focus on two areas, cultural affairs and diplomacy, and media marketing and public relations. This is our 9th group candidate interview. And Sister Norma Thomas, whom I will be calling Sister Rawia, that's what I've always known her as. So if I say Rawia, I'm talking to Norma Thomas. She's a candidate for our cultural affairs and diplomacy division. And Sister Lynee Mallory, oh, I got Michelle here. Lynee Mallory, here we go, is a candidate for our media marketing and PR department. So before we get into the questions, I want to say thank you to you sisters for answering the call, for agreeing to be here, for agreeing to be a part, for being open. Black people are always talking about we need to unify and do, but if we can't make time to unify, then of course there won't be any doing. We got a lot of individualism in our communities, and that's never going to work. And in fact, I think our unity is one of our greatest weapons that we have to push back if we got serious about unifying. So I do thank you guys for being here from the bottom of my heart. I really, 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 really appreciate it. And Rawia, of course, you know how long I've been chasing you. So I'm really thankful that you finally said, okay, shut you up and be here. So thank you, I appreciate it. Because God knows I love and respect you immensely. Okay, first question. Let's start with Sister Rawia, Sister Norma. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, Rawia.
Greetings all. I am Norma Thomas, born and reared here in the city of Houston, hailing from the 4-4 from Acres Homes. My background is theater, performing and visual arts. I have been a public school classroom teacher, higher ed, not instructional support in higher ed, community programming, let's see what else, and that sort of thing with regard to performing and visual arts in the community. Also teacher of English and debate and reading and speech and all that kind of stuff. But my primary goal and my primary focus for the past, I'm gonna say about 40 years has been to train a generation of conscious artists to bring quality, relevant, affordable, accessible arts to the community, to artistically underserved communities, and liberate Black people with arts as a platform.
Okay, amen.
Yes,
thank you for all of that. And quick question for you. Artistically underserved communities. Help me understand what that is.
If you go into our communities, i.e., well, there's one exempt right now. Fifth Ward now has a theater again. The Deluxe Theater is out in Fifth Ward. But if you go into our areas, we typically do not have performing arts centers that are dedicated to performing and visual arts.
Okay.
We have centers that create a corner for performing and visual arts, but they're not dedicated to the arts.
Okay.
We typically do not have a theater, a live theater space.
Yep.
We definitely don't have amphitheater. For example, at Acres Homes, we have some spaces that could be utilized for amphitheaters, but it's not happening. So when I say artistically underserved communities, we don't have arts programs that are in the community on a regular basis and that are geared specifically for that community and for sister communities and the city at large.
Okay. Okay. Well, amen. All right. Thank you. Sister Lynee, tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
First of all, Miss Norma, I don't know your other name, but I appreciate you and salute to you for doing what you're doing and even having a vision to do that.
Thank you.
I guess we're kindred spirits within that realm. I will say that. So just a little bit about myself. Got a little tongue tied because my name is Lynee Mallory. My stage name is Lynee Michelle. I am a singer, a songwriter. I did open my publishing company in 2008. It's called New Dawn Publishing, just to foster my own music. And doing so, I kind of took a little break, lived a little bit, had my child, my daughter, and just did what I needed to do. But that fire still burned inside of me. I've always been a person who wanted to help and encourage and fostering different things as far as shows. I'm from Baltimore, originally Monterey, California, but I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland. And, you have to create an avenue for yourself. You have to, as an artist, as any individual or person trying to go out there and get something, whether we're in this Black community, in our Black nation, we do need to stand and rise again, rise with each other. But it's a lot of self-creating and making your own wheel spin. So I've had a proven track record of doing that. And just recently, I'm really going hard to put out new music. But as Miss Sister Norma said, it's really inspirational music. It's uplifting music. It's positive music. It is an avenue that I know it's what we need to have right now. We have a lot of music for the left side. Not to say there's anything wrong with that, because there's certain atmospheres where, I may I'm going to enjoy myself at a cookout to that, but we have too much to the left. We need some to the right. And it's not just geared around Christian and all God and gospel. It's music to reach people that are over there enjoying themselves on the left, but it's going to uplift your conscience to just remember where we came from. What are we here to do? What is your soul purpose? So that's been a big avenue for me. It's just been creating music, recording music. I've also done acting, so I have a lot of experience with that, acting and just doing shows, doing different movies, being a part of The Wire, different movies. I'm sorry, I don't like talking about myself, but the passion is there. So, whether I'm received in the same light, I am here for a purpose. And if I know I need to help someone else, I'm going to do it, because in doing so, I'm helping myself and the community. That's something that we need to do.
Yep. Amen. Amen. Thank you for that. This question is for both of you. Sister Lynee, you go first. You cannot say your significant other and or your children. Everybody says that. So what are you most passionate about? Lynee, you first, and then Romeo.
Oh, really, really good question. I am most passionate about love. Love, y'all. Love, yeah, I said it. It's a vague word. I'm passionate about love because in every avenue that I do, right now I'm in sales and marketing, and I've been doing this for a long time. And I take myself out of the equation when it comes to what I want, because it's not always about me. It's about how I can serve someone else. And when you genuinely love people, when you genuinely love each other, because it's not always about you, you take yourself out of the equation and you love people like you're supposed to, your brothers, your sisters. That's important, because you can have a much more enriched life when you just genuinely love people and service people from that place. So I would definitely say love. I've done things to help the homeless. I've been telling people at my job, and I'm doing it on behalf of New Dawn Publishing, but it's me doing all the groundwork, collecting clothes, shoes, everything for the homeless. And then I'll just go ahead and take it down to the homeless shelter. So when you can experience someone when you're down and out who really genuinely cares about you, because they recognize that you can be in that same predicament. You need that sometimes. And we all need that. And if people would just genuinely love each other like you're supposed to, the world would be better. So that's what it's about. It really is.
Amen, Ashe, and I agree. Okay, Rawi, what are you most passionate about?
I'm most passionate about community. Community, because we're a communal people. And where there is an absence of community, there is an absence of us. We have, we've lost, of course, in so many ways, our physical community. Mm-hmm. When we were given permission to move out of our hoods and we were able to squeeze into the suburbs, which then in turn did a donut effect and came back into where our hoods were, which we were so quickly to evacuate, we lost a great deal of us. With the absence of community, to me, comes an absence of peoplehood. And I think that for us, that is one of the greatest things that is at the core of our challenges right now. And it's a lack of peoplehood. We are no longer a people. So for me, and especially with regentrification, which we're looking at in, across the country, right. But, I'm looking at it firsthand right now in my community. There is a loss of community, yet an opportunity for community, if you follow. The loss is that, of course, we get pushed out. So now we can no longer afford to live in the very communities that we established. That was literally nothing out here. Yep. And we, my father and those who were the generation just before him, they had the wherewithal to come out here and build. And I feel like, of course, it was my generation that dropped the ball because we just couldn't, I don't think we ever imagined regentrification. We never imagined that anybody else would want to come out here and take what was ours. Why we didn't imagine it, I don't know, but we didn't.
Yeah.
So, so we dropped that ball, and now we are fighting to reclaim what is ours, but we've got to do it differently. So right now, and I think that probably for a very, very long time, community, because you said you can't say children or grandchildren or your family. So next would come my community, because my community shaped me, my community molded me. Right. I am who I am because of my community. And so I am extremely dedicated to that. A great deal of the work that I do surrounds my community. I have tied my livelihood to the work that I do in the community. So for me, it's going to be community.
Okay, amen. Good answer. Okay, next one's for you, Rawia. Aside from me constantly showing up and asking you to be a part, why are you open to being a candidate for this election? Aside from me refusing to take no. That might be it, Lynee. You don't know how long I've been chasing the system.
I'm sorry, I can barely hear you. I'm trying to find, this is not my computer, so I'm trying to find the volume. Sure, I've got it all the way up, but I can't see with
did you hear the question
in this room. So I don't, just talk louder, Tamani. I can't hear you.
Okay, so aside from me badgering you, why are you open to being a candidate in this election?
Okay, I'm open to being a candidate because cultural affairs. I just spoke with a young lady the other day who is starting a nonprofit in the community, and we were talking about regentrification. And my statement to her was that you cannot stop a tide. Once that tide starts to roll, you can't stop it. It's going to continue to roll. The best thing you can do is grab you a floater, grab you a surfboard, grab you a life jacket, grab something, but get into that tide and roll with it. One of the things that I think is so important right now that is key to us becoming a people again is culture. So anything that is relevant to the keeping of the culture is important to me. So I'm willing to throw my throw my name in the basket to be a part of something that is going to further and that is going to reclaim, that's going to regenerate, revitalize culture, then that's where my heart is.
Okay, amen. Lynee, why are you open to being a candidate in this election?
Repeat that, please. You said, why am I open to the candidacy?
Yeah, why are you open to being a candidate in this election?
So I am open because actually when you hit me up at a good time, to be honest.
Okay.
I've always been passionate about doing things like this, being a part of something. And just like Miss Norma, you said culture and family. I am one of the suburb movers. I moved out to a nice community. It's a nice area, but I am missing community. I like the place I came from. However, my kids, I don't want them to go to the schools down there. So I dip and dab and I go back home from where I come from in Baltimore. I live in Columbia, but I want to be a part of this. Again, it's all about timing, and the time you hit me up, what I am doing right now with my music and a few other artists and people that I'm working with, it just fits like a puzzle. It's good timing, and what I'm doing, I'm pushing. So when I'm pushing, I'm already in go mode. I'm in work mode, as you've probably noticed, but I'm moving in that direction. And I believe in the cause. I watched the video, and everything that was stated on that video, I was already aware of.
Awesome.
And I would like to be a part of a system that's going to help us out, because I'm always preaching it everywhere I go.
Yeah.
But I'm just a little individual myself. So I'm also willing to be a part of it for growth. I'm looking to be a part of a community. And I think this would help me out, as well as I have assets to help out with other artists or other people doing the same thing, and just marketing. I have a lot of qualities how I can be used within the organization if I'm just told, if I understand the big picture. So I think a lot of it has to do with timing, because if you asked me about this a year ago, I would have been bogged down with something else.
Yeah.
So it's just really a good time, and it fits very well.
Yeah.
And I'm looking to do that.
Well, I believe things happen for a reason. So maybe you're supposed to be free at this time. Rawia, how do you define culture?
No, sweetie. Stop.
There's a traditional definition, and then there is my definition, which I think really is just kind of an offspring of the traditional definition, or it kind of fits right in. But of course, traditionally, culture is the beliefs, the traditions, the core values, the food, the music, the dance, all of those things that make a people who they are. Culture. For me, culture is all of that, but it's also our mark on the earth. What we can leave behind for someone else, not only to step into, not only to find their own sense of grounding, their own sense of belonging, their own sense of who they are and identity, but it's also a marker for history that we are here, we have been here, we are here, we're going to be here. When we give that away, when we lose it, when we no longer identify with it, we participate in our own genocide and our own demise. So in a nutshell, culture is what connects you to your life portal, that portal which your spirit chose to enter into this life form. I chose this particular portal. So this portal identifies, helps me to identify who I am and under what cloth I chose to enter into this life.
I'm glad you mentioned spirituality, because that is a perfect segue to the next question, which is also for you, Rawia. As I'm sure you already know, spirituality and culture are intimately connected and vital for our forward progress and survival. So what do you bring to the table in your respective areas to help us move forward in the kind of culture that we need?
I think personally, on a personal level, I would have to say self-actualization. Thanks to, I have a Baptist foundation. I was reared in the Baptist church, in the Black Baptist church. And with all of its inadequacies, it's why I am who I am.
Yeah.
It gave me a firm foundation. What I was able to do as an adult was take that foundation and choose my own path.
Okay.
In choosing that path, I've experienced growth.
Mm-hmm.
I've experienced evolution. I've experienced spiritual awakening and awareness and development. So I believe that what I bring is self-actualization, because my ego is not tied to it.
Okay.
It's important to me on a much deeper level. So I can come to the table without all of the shackles. I can come to the table without baggage. I can come to the table without agendas. My agenda is over there.
Mm-hmm.
I can join you at your table. I can join another table without feeling the need to impose anything upon it.
Yep.
Either I can come and be of service, or if I don't feel like I can be of service, I am okay with walking away. I'm not trying to transform you into something I want you to be or do or look like. I can simply say, more power to you. I wish you the best, but I'm going to continue what I'm doing over here.
So Lynee, the next question is not related to what it is, but I'm asking you if you have anything to add, because most artists, I believe personally, are spiritual people. I think the things that artists can do, I think you have to be tapped into something that allows you to create on a different level, because I'm the youngest of 5 boys and all my brothers can sing except me. And I'm like, what the hell? Am I adopted? So I can rap though. So which means I'm a boy. So Sister Lynee, do you have anything you would like to add to what Rawia said?
You got Miss Rawia. I'm calling you that name. It's Miss Norma. Go on before me. All I'm going to say is I love what you're saying. So just if you could do this, ask me the question over, because her responses are beautiful. But okay. I want to give you a genuine answer from myself. So
okay. I say spirituality and culture are so intimately connected and vital for our forward progress and survival. What do you bring to the table in your respective area to help us move forward? That was a question for her.
So in my respected areas, once again, and I don't want to keep using that word. So spirituality is you will hear my music soon, but spirituality really does run deep with me. I will say when I am creating, I don't even write really anymore. I'm just going to give you this idea of what I do. I like to just create and let the spirit use me. God knows my heart and my intentions, which is to uplift people and to motivate people. But I do that with everything I do. At least I try. When I'm working at my job, and people will love me for that. And I do very well with all walks and facets of things that I've done, because I'm trying to walk from that purity within me. I want to be used as a beacon of service. So I do understand that. I know when I was in my 20s, I let people influence me and try to tell me, you have to do this, you have to do your music this way because you want to appeal this way, you want to do that for marketing. So I've grown and I've had my own spiritual realization. I've always known what I wanted to do at a young age, always. But it's now I've grown into who I am. And that is honestly a testimony. That's a testimony. And if I can't do anything more but to testify for real life things that I've been through, whether they're trauma, that have helped me align myself more to the spiritualism of life. So what does spirituality mean to me? Spirituality is very individual. I mean, you can go to church, you can praise whomever you want. Well, I don't want to say that. But everybody has to have their own connection with their spiritualism, because your lesson may not be what my lesson is. Mm-hmm. And someone else's lesson may not be what my lesson is. So hold on a second. Neve, you have to turn that down, baby, please. Sorry, I didn't even give her a full warning about this because it was last minute. It's honestly respecting each other. And I've learned so much in my life, and everything that I go through, I attribute that to spiritual, I think about optimism. I say there's a spiritual lesson in this. What was the good part that I needed to pull from this? Pressure creates a diamond. And I feel like my life has evolved me to be that diamond, not a stripper named Diamond, but a diamond, because you have to withstand so much to be as beautiful as you can, show people who you are. And that's going to emanate throughout everything I do. And it does. And I feel sometimes funny about talking about myself, but if you know anyone that knows me, it happens on me because I set my intentions, again, not only for myself, it's about how can I serve. So in order to even be on that wavelength, in order to be able to see from that level, you have to reach a certain level of spiritualism and spiritual maturity. As far as culture, oh boy, cultures are all miscrossed right now. And I don't mind that. I see a lot of people saying to white women, girl, you can't wear them cornrows. You can't wear them. That's not in your culture, vulture. Granted, you know what? Let them be. Let them do, because it's a lot of us that wear straight hair. I'm just being honest. And it's about accepting each other, how you're supposed to be accepted, because we're in a world now where you have everybody's going to be pretty much brown. I really do believe that a lot of people are going to be brown. There's a lot of mixed mingling. I am not mixed, but I don't hate that. I don't mind people doing that. I believe in love. But I do know that some people of certain cultures get with other people for acceptance. I do understand that. I see that, and I know that. But if you're really with somebody out of love, let it be love. People say that love is a religion. Love is a spiritual thing. And if you really can love people, you know, with no judgments, you can learn a lot. You really can.
Got it.
You can.
So I asked Rawia to give me her definition of culture. And she said, quote, the beliefs, the traditions, the core values, our mark on the earth. What can we leave behind for someone else to not only step into and bow themselves to who they are and what their identity is going to be. We want to leave a mark for history's sake. So how can your expertise in media marketing and/or PR, Lynee, how can that help move forward and promote Sister Rawia's definition of culture?
So just to piggyback on what you said, Miss Norma, I think it is important to know about your culture, your history, know why you're here, because if you don't, things can continuously happen and you can be manipulated by not knowing. So culture is very important. I just threw in the mixture because it is happening now, but it is important to stay grounded and anchored with who you are and where you come from, because if we don't know things, again, things can push us. So with that being said, how I would push that is just knowledge. And I am not the best speaker without, knowing maybe questions. I like to kind of get an idea, but I'm going off the top of my head. Yep. And I'm being genuine. I put that out through a message in my music. Yeah. And with that, it just flows a little bit different than my vocal wording vocabulary. So it's knowledge. It's knowledge, and promoting that and putting that out, and also holding yourself accountable for doing what you know better to do. Yeah. Like you can't know everything but not uphold it. You can't know everything and not want to turn the other cheek and help people. You can't know all these things and not want to actually give of yourself. So with what I've been doing with media and marketing, I'm really good with sales. I will say that I have never had a sales job and not done well. I'm always top number one, number two, and I never put in the same amount of hours that other people do. Someone told me once before, you work smart, not hard. So once I know what I'm doing, I work smart, not hard, but I do work hard.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
So and as it relates to the question, I don't forward the questions in advance because I want people's genuine answers. I don't want anybody going to the Google to try and give the best answer. I want to know what you think and what you feel. So the only people that get the questions in advance, and this is only because we have technical issues, if we have candidates in other countries, and the ones in Africa primarily, they have serious internet connectivity issues. So I have to send them the questions and have them record themselves because we've tried to do the connection thing and they just don't work. But other than that, no one else gets the questions ahead of time because I want to know genuinely what you think about these stuff. And it's okay to say, I don't know. That's fine because no one knows everything. All right, next question is for you as well, Sister Lynee. We know that the news is often told from a perspective, especially when it's about the Black community, that's not our perspective. How do you propose we begin to change that from a local level moving up?
It's a very good question. putting our own out. I mean, if we can put our own news out. If there's a, you know, how the news is covering certain things, I don't know how we're gonna do it. That would be a gathering of people sitting together. Who can do this? Who can do that? But putting it out our own selves, or even if we have an investigating team, you know, you have people who are computer. That's what they do. They get on the computer, they research, they do interviews, they follow up, and then you have the person that will actually get on there and talk about it, because not everyone wants to read everything. Some people want to hear the news, so we could cover it ourselves. And that sounds easier said than done, but I believe it can be done if we get a game plan to do that.
Sure.
Cover it ourselves.
And Lynee, that's why what you just said is why we're having the election, because we have people that know how to do it, but our issue is not expertise. Our issue is that we're not on the same page. We don't know each other, and we don't talk to each other. And of course, we want to eliminate that as much as possible. What you said is why we're doing this. Okay, Maria, can you give us an historical and current example of powerful cultures that we could use as models in 2020 moving forward? An historical and current example of powerful cultures that we could use as models in 2022 moving forward.
Historically, I'm going to have to go back to the early kingdoms.
Okay.
Of I'm thinking, you know, kingdoms of, you know, Ghana, Mali, Songhai. I'm talking about going back to our near beginning. And that's because what I understand of those kingdoms was that, number one, they were self-sufficient. They also, within those cultures, I'm trying to find the correct terminology. I'm shifting between within those cultures, but they were kingdoms. So I want to say within those kingdoms, but I think you kind of know where I'm going, and you can correct me where it's necessary historically. But I'm going back to the thought of, and I don't know why this came to mind, but I'm going to go with it. And that is the whole concept of barter and exchange. How kingdoms, how peoples of that time period survived without what we know today as, and I could be wrong again, without what we know today as a monetary form of exchange. There were other systems of give and take. There were other systems. And I think that that is something that I think would be so powerful for us today, because there are so many of us who are, because we're still struggling economically, you know, as a people, you know. I think it was, don't make me lie, Claude Anderson, maybe.
That's one of them. Yeah, he sounds like a good candidate for what you're about to say. Go ahead.
Okay, who did the piece on economics being the final frontier. Yeah, it's like that's the area that we have yet to pave roads. That's the area. And brothers and sisters are doing it now. They're conversations. But I think that if we look at in a significant way, going back to and looking back upon those earlier kingdoms and how they survived, how they thrived, and how they became the kingdoms that they were.
That's right.
I guess is it in a nutshell.
Okay.
You know, I want to tweak this, even though it's, you know, it's not real, but
come on.
When, you know, when Black Panther came, and you know, we were all excited. You know, we were like Wakanda forever.
That's right.
Someone made the statement, and I borrowed it numerous times, that, you know what, we have sense enough to know that Wakanda is a fictional place, but what we are grasping in our spirits is what we know we are supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that's why we were so Wakanda forever.
Yeah.
You know, so now something you said, current.
Yeah, historical and current cultures. Yeah.
I guess we can call this a culture, because it was a counterculture.
Okay.
And that is the Pan-African Orthodox Christian Church.
Right.
What Reverend Albert B. Clegg envisioned, what he taught, what he wrote was it. You know, it was, or it is. I won't say it was, because the word is living. It's still there. It still exists, and it exists in the hearts of those who embraced it, and have taken it and are using it in various aspects of their lives, or as I said earlier, on their own platforms, not necessarily in the walls of the church, but on their own platforms. And so that culture, the culture of self-determination, of all of the Nguzo Saba, the culture of the Nguzo Saba.
That's right.
And so I would just have to stop right there and say that I would say the Pan-African Orthodox Christian Church, the Shrines of the Black Madonna, the counterculture,
right,
is the culture.
Right. FYI, Sister Lynee, Sister Rawi and I were members of the same church called, what she just mentioned, Shrines of Black Madonna. And we actually lived in a community that was controlled by Black people here in Houston. So we had our own safe space to do our own stuff with institutions and everything else. So that's what she's referring to. And Rawi, people might snicker when I send them a Wakanda Forever meme. But to me, everything starts with the question of what if those African kingdoms you mentioned, somebody said, what if, or why not, right? Exactly. So we might not be quite ready for the spaceships, but we can most certainly put some things in place whereby we can build our own culture. So that's a very good answer. Thank you for that. Yeah. Okay, Lynee, question for you. How do we begin to recapture our image and then reintroduce that image to our people?
To be honest, I believe that our image has changed.
Okay.
I know we talk about culture, we do. Being true to who you are, each one individually. I only personally say that because I switch up so much. My hair is natural, but I will wear a hat quick. I'm just being honest. So with that being said, my image is going to radiate more than from what I look like. My image is who I am. But on a general sense, it's normalizing our naturalness, our natural hair, normalizing our nose, normalizing real bodies, not BBLs and just fakeness. No, because that's a part of our image. We are beautiful people. We come in different shapes and different sizes, and normalizing our naturalness. Again, I got some hair in the day. Just being honest. I normalize it all, but I wear my hair as natural. But I think to reclaim our image would be to normalize just natural beauty, and that's naturally who we are, without altering ourselves, and promoting that and looking at it as and accepting it and supporting people who are out there doing that. But again, I do believe that that's changed, because a lot of things are different, and you have people. As an artist, I will experiment and try different things, but I always come back home and I'm the same person, with or without extraness, So normalizing that is to accept people. And I say this because the type of jobs I've done, accept people for who they are. Get to listen to them, have a conversation first to see who they are. You don't judge people, because people judge you so fast. Someone would judge me because I look like this, and tomorrow take my hat off and I look a different way with my natural hair and I get judged. So just within our Black community, if I'm speaking about that, because I can't talk about other cultures because they judge us really quick. Quick. Yeah. But amongst ourselves, we got to stop casting judgment as soon as you see somebody, because you don't know that person, you don't know the walk of life that they've done. Stop judging and just listen with your open heart to see where the person is and who they are, because how do you capture that when there's so many, we're so different, and don't judge someone if they're not like you, even though that they don't have all that, they don't have that whole African appeal, they're brown, they're light, they're mixed with Indian. Accept people for who they are and see who they are and just accept it. Within our Black community, we are black, brown, almost olive, we're so many different colors. So just be accepting of the differentness that we all have and normalize our naturalness, because it's beautiful.
Yeah, amen. Like I say to people that
turn it down, babes.
No one comes in more shapes, sizes, and colors than we do, and I don't think there's anything more beautiful than a Black woman. So, amen. Sister Rawi, how do we create culture?
I don't know that we create culture.
Okay.
We were born into culture. What I think we do is we propagate it we immortalize it. I think that we protect it and we keep it. I think that that may be one of our biggest challenges right now in terms of culture, and that is protecting it, keeping it, passing it on, protecting it, keeping it, pass it on. I think that's the thing for me. As the Lynee was speaking a minute ago, and I heard you say image, and she went the physical route, and my mind was going the other route. And I thought of my mind, of course, went back to peoplehood, the concept of peoplehood. Mm-hmm. And when you say something, when you've got enough people saying the same thing at the same time, yeah, the stronger and the more powerful it becomes, and it becomes the truth. People begin to latch onto it. It's almost like the 100th monkey syndrome. Mm-hmm. It becomes the norm. Yeah. And so if we preach it, if we preach peoplehood, if we talk peoplehood enough, yeah, then we begin to think of ourselves and view ourselves from the standpoint of people, mm-hmm, of being a people. Yeah. Yeah. I think I borrowed this statement from the there's like what do you call it? The foreword, all of that information that goes. I don't know if it was a foreword or a preface. That was in it. It goes to the African American Heritage Bible. Uh-huh. There's a whole bit of scholarship, mm-hmm, that went into the writing of that section that precedes the Bible itself, and it is awesome to read. Okay. And I don't know if it was just my takeaway or if they actually said it, but what I got from that was that no other people on the planet have been called to be and do what African and African descendants have been called to be and do. If we could grasp that, mm-hmm, and understand the beauty and the power of that, yeah, then therein lies our solution. Okay. Therein lies our liberation. Therein lies our reclamation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So next question, the Culture Affairs and Diplomacy Department is designed to not only help us create culture, but to also bridge the gap with other Black/African cultures and build bridges. How will you and or your cabinet do this? How do we connect with other Black and or African people in those cultures and start building bridges?
Just the first thing that came to me as you were speaking is one of the things I did not say about myself in the beginning is that I'm a writer. And I do shows, I do original pieces. I rarely, if ever, do anything that's already published. There are enough people out there that's doing this stuff that's already published. Yep. So I do my own stuff. And thereby I get to say what I want to say. I get to make sure that the message that I'm putting out is the message that I want to put out. And what I do often in my work is I bridge cultures. I bridge, or maybe I should say the way you said, I create bridges within the culture, right? Across the diaspora. So to me, as an artist, that's one of the ways that we do that, is that we create art, okay, that ties us together as a people. You will find in my works, the topic of peoplehood is prevalent. I'm always promoting that aspect of us being a people. I might be an individual manifestation of the divine, but I belong to a people. That's right. I embodied this space for a purpose, yeah, and I'm connected to others. So it's in the work. And if we begin to create enough of our own stuff, and I'm one of those people, I don't apologize. I'm one of those people, I get tired of remakes. Mm-hmm. If somebody tell me, oh, they're getting ready, like the one that comes to mind immediately was the like Steel Magnolias, because I got into a little debate with some friends because I was excited for the actresses who were doing it, but come on, Steel Magnolias, Why? And there is another remake that's in the works right now that I've been reading about. For some reason, it slips my mind, but I'm excited for the people to get the work. But my question is, again, is why?
Yeah.
When we have so much to create of our own. And when I say of our own, I'm specifically saying what is capable of speaking to us in mass as a people that can promote exactly what you're talking about. And that is the connecting of us throughout the world. This summer, I did a summer conservatory with kids between the ages of 7 and 17. So we were actually, I think the highest we went this summer was 16, 7 to 16. The conversations that we had were just awesome because we do, in the mornings, we do conversations, morning dialogue. And so those are the things that we talk about, is being a people and finding, we did my version of the Wiz.
Okay.
But in that, the concept was peoplehood. There is a connection. So you've got this little girl who's from Acres Homes, but you've got Acres Homes, Houston, Texas, but you've got these people who are from a place called Under the Rainbow. Yet they are finding that connection between them. So, not to I don't know, beat a horse. The point is that, for me personally, it's in my work.
Yeah.
If we put it out there.
Another thing, and this goes back to what Sister Lynee said, if we had the proper education and we knew who and what we were, there's so much of our stories that has not been told. The people are remaking and redoing stuff because they don't have anything new to talk about. Well, hell, if we tap into our history and our culture and ourselves and what we've been through, we are the oldest people on the planet, been there longer than anybody else. The things we've done, they still can't figure out, and we forgot most of them, but we did them. And
it was almost done purposely.
Yeah, and I think
it's so. I'm so sorry. Go ahead. No, I come into dialogue with so many different people and different nationalities, and we talk, and I don't sugarcoat that I don't know. I don't know past my grandmother, and to me that is sad. It is sad. I think I'm one of the only ones in the family who tried to do the genealogy, and I'm looking and I'm searching, and it gets frustrating because I don't know. It's sad, and I mean, it is what it is. But with that being said, other cultures, like, they all know their great grand, and then they have lineages, and we don't. That's something that we've lost, and it's sad to me. But at the same time, that's something that we need to find, and if we can find it through branching off and branching out with other people's family, because we know how it was with slavery. And I don't mean to bring it up, but when I talk to these other people, different cultures, I'm like, well, oh yeah, I don't know. And I mean, you know what happened? I don't really need to go into it. I don't know. We were separated. We were ripped away from our parents. And it's, so with that being said, it's just even learning more about the culture, from where we came from, and latching on to that and accepting that these were things that we did, whether that was that tribe or it was another tribe, but what feels like it rings true to your spirit. And I've noticed that with certain cultures, like from Ethiopians, different people I ran across, certain things they do, even the food and the textures of it, I feel like, oh, this is home. I don't know, but it feels like it's home to me. And you can recreate your own culture when you just really don't know. And you may have that lost notion, like you just feel it like you're lost, but you still have to recreate something, and you can get it from some of the old movies, just accepting what we've been through, which we've never got reparations for, never, and if there was a way we can devise something where we can, that would be great. But I'm all for it because I don't have the knowledge for all of it, but I'm here for it. I'm here for the cause.
Yeah.
But that's sad to me.
No one has all the knowledge. That's why we got to find the people. We got to find the group. So, Sister Lynee, tribalism or cliques is something that is an issue for us because one of our issues with unity is that, if you're this religion or if you're that culture or if you're part of this fraternity or whatever, that's you. I can't build with you. And we don't think that we got the same common enemy who has helped to create this division. Which tribalism is a problem, but it can also be a solution and an answer. So how can we use media marketing and PR to help bring the different tribes, if you will, of Black people together, how we use media marketing and PR to reach our people and try and get as many of us as possible on the same page.
So I can only speak of what I'm doing, and maybe another artist of different artistry can do the same thing. So I'm not just trying to claim one type of religion, like, oh, Christianity, I know what I am. But when you're speaking with one voice and you using subject term like principalities, negative and positive, you know if you're either doing negative or if you're doing positive. So you can only, you got to put out that one voice, one message. Sometimes I don't know why other cultures would get offended when you say, Jesus Christ, or I'm Muslim and this and that. It's one voice. We're all spiritual beings. We're all spiritual creatures. And we are talking from love and unity. It should resonate with all cultures because we're all telling predominantly the same story.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're coming from a place of love, there's no ill intentions involved, So when you're putting out music, or when you're putting out art, or when you're putting out a book, if your story is to talk about something and it's a point and it's a moral, all religions are going to feel it, because the religion is going to teach you the powers of principality, which is yin and yang. You got positive and negative. So sometimes you just have to respect that people are different, even in their religions, and respect that. And again, not cast judgment, just respect it, but have one voice. And a lot of times that one voice, I like what you said, Ms. Norma, peopleism, just equate love with that. If you're coming from a place of love and you're speaking the truth, you can hear it. It just rings in your head. When you're being told something that's truthful and when you're not, even if it's a different religion. So it's about putting out good material. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna put out something that's good. All religions are gonna feel it, because I'm not really using one. I'm not using one authority, like one presentation. I'm saying God. And God can be used as far as all religions. So
okay, all right. So
put out that good stuff.
So the next question is for you, Lynee. The Black Gold Nation has a program called the Care Alliance, and it's a lot of things that we're going to do. But one of those things is get Black consumers to redirect where they spend their money. We don't understand that the only reason millions flow through our communities is because we give it away, literally. So we have power to lay the foundation to build a Wakanda. We got the money. We just don't have the right plan and the right people on board. So how can we use media marketing and PR to build a grassroots marketing campaign to get our people to shop Black, if you will?
Okay. So first of all, we sit down and we have a meeting with all of our Black inventors. I'm not lying. Black people who are putting out products. What are you doing? What's your market? What are you selling? So we can be honest with each other first. So we don't want to just support, you want to support somebody that's got something good. Mm-hmm. We have to start being honest with each other, like we're talking to our sisters or our brothers, because we're not going to let you walk out the house with a piece of toilet paper hanging from your shoes. Right. So we have to be honest with each other, but we need to do this like yesterday, like we really do. We need to have a group, have a meeting, sit down and talk to people who are doing things, who have things. What do you have to offer? And we need to promote it. We have Facebook, we have Instagram. What are you doing? Oh, I actually like that. We need to support each other and take the hate away. I don't know why a lot of us, not myself, but a lot of us, we have this crab in the barrel mentality, like, oh, you're getting high, let me pull you down, because there's some type of resentment. I don't know where it comes from or why, but we have to stop that, because we are getting other cultures and other people rich, because I buy products and I would love to support Black more, but I don't know all, some of these Black companies they're promoting that they're Black companies, but they're masked and they're disguising themselves, and they're really not. So if I had a choice to buy Black, and it's pretty similar, the innate ingredients are slightly different, I would buy Black, but you don't know. We need to really get together, really sit down and talk about, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm going to promote you. And if we have 600 people within our organization, every 600 people, we will do a campaign. We're going to post this person. This is all, forget you, sit down, you're gonna have your time. Let's go with this person. They have a hair product. We're gonna all blast you. Just like you said, Ms. Norma, with peopleism, we have to start somewhere. We keep talking about it, but if we can get together, even if it's over a large Zoom or meeting room, and talk about what we're doing, we can have segments, different times. So this is what I like to do.
Yeah. It's a
As
good
far
idea.
as promoting, there's seasons.
Yeah.
There is seasons when it's good times to drop certain things. Hair products, different food things, hot sauce, whatever you're doing. Like, we're buying this stuff. I'm being dead honest. So we need to sit and come together with each other to find out what you're doing. Give us a sample, or we'll support you and buy one. If you love it, latch onto it and support it. And everybody who's with that, within this organization, whether it's 200, 500, a million, we have 1 week where all we're doing is promoting this person. We're promoting Jimmy John. We're promoting Jimmy John like it's our own, because our time will come as well. And that is how you create that peopleism. And you show love, you extend that love. And why not? Why not? And I think that's a really good way, but we're not doing it.
Yeah,
So
I think it's an excellent idea and something that we should most certainly do and then build upon. So that's I like the answer. It's a good answer. Rawia, next question is for you. Would you say that we as a people globally, would you say we have a culture of self-destruction? And if so, how did this happen, and how do we change it and turn things around? If you believe that we have a culture of self-destruction, if you believe that, then how did it happen? How do we turn it around?
I don't believe we have a culture of self-destruction.
Okay.
I think we have an infiltration
of
self-destruction. But I do not think that that is the sum total, nor is it a great percentage, nor is it, it's not who we are. Unfortunately, the self-destruction is what gets, the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yeah.
So it appears that we have a culture of self-destruction, or whatever the actual verbiage was that you just used. I don't believe that that is so.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you something else that I do believe. I do believe that there is a such thing as Black on Black crime.
Sure.
I believe that we don't accept the concept of Black on Black crime. We want to write it off as a sociological, how it is when the system creates something.
Sure.
And tells us what it is, and then we accept it, whatever that word is for that.
Yep.
I think that we want to write it off as that, but I think, once again, that's because we don't understand that we are a people.
Okay.
And what makes Black on Black crime real is that we are a people.
Yeah.
Does that mean that we have a culture of self-destruction? Does it mean that globally we can be defined by that? No, I don't think so. I really don't think so. I'm witnessing firsthand too much greatness.
Mm-hmm.
And if we were, if that were the case, we would not be able to continue to produce and build and grow and develop. Because we are energy beings. And I believe that we would be so influenced or so impacted, so de-energized by that we would not be having this conversation here. You would not be doing what you are doing. And so many others would not be doing what they are doing. Going back to your question with Ms. Lynee a second ago, it's happening. The support of Black businesses, it's happening. There is a wave that is rolling. And what we've got to do is get in there and ride that wave.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is a fire that is burning. We got to get in there and stoke that fire. So what we've got to do to eradicate this whole message that we have a culture of self-destruction is to get in there and stoke the fires of creation, stoke the fires of culturization, stoke the fires that are already burning, but the flames are not visible because we rely on media to tell us what's happening in our world. And they would rather tell us that this is what's happening.
Right.
Is present? Yes. Is it the norm? Is it the some words are escaping me right now, the word I'm looking for that is synonymous to norm? No, it isn't.
Okay. And that's why we got to have our own media department so that we can promote our own stories and our own creativity. So this question is for both of you. Will, you go first. It will do Black Gold Nation no good to work to prepare our adults for empowerment and freedom and not simultaneously be working on the same thing for our youth or with our youth. So, Will, how will you bring, and this is easy for you because you do it, but how will you bring the youth along in your area of expertise to take the place of the adults when the time is right?
Yeah. In my corner of the world and whatever corners of the world I'm able to reach, because as I told it was our theme this past summer for our summer conservatory was the world is at your fingertips. Mm-hmm. And with that, it is about training our young people. Yeah. We have a methodology in education right now that I totally disagree with. And I don't even know if it's national or if it's just something that they came across here in Houston. And that is not to talk too much to the kids. Of course, I believe, yes, give them opportunities to talk to each other. Give them opportunities to exchange with each other. But here is the rub. They don't know how to talk to each other.
Sure. Yeah.
And half the time, even if you give them a prompt, if you give them a stem, they don't know how to finish the stem. So you have to model that behavior.
Okay.
So there are two things that we have to do. We have to talk to our children. We have to teach them.
Okay.
We cannot jump on this bandwagon of, let me back up. We have to know what our children need. Mm-hmm. We have to know how to educate our children. We have to know that African descended children, that Black and brown children in particular, are children who have to be reached holistically. We have to touch every aspect of their being. We cannot throw information in front of them and just expect that they're going to grab it and hold on to it. Not gonna happen. So from a cultural standpoint, we have to do the same thing. We have to immerse them in cultural experiences. We have to talk to them about who they are and whose they are. And we have to seize what the internet has given us. What the internet has given us is access to the world.
That's right. Yeah.
And we have to utilize that tool to not only reach our little corner of the world here in Acres Homes, Houston, Texas, but then take that and share it with the rest of the world. Yeah. And use that as a model, as well as a beacon.
That is a topic of discussion. How do we reach our children holistically? That in and of itself can be a show. So at some point, we're gonna make talk about it. So Lynee, your answer to that question, how are you going to bring the youth along to take the adults' place in your area?
So just to really quick piggyback on what Miss Norma said, and Miss Norma, I've agreed with everything you said, everything. And I want to let it be known because I feel strongly about that. It was just really quick. I'm going to touch on that. But you said about as our nation, do you feel like our culture is being self-destructing, or if you feel like it's? I just want to touch on that. And I feel like it is. I really do. I feel like it is strongly. And I can see it. I sit down and talk with my cousins because they see on the same time and we talk about the same things. And it's not that I'm not seeing enough good, because I know there's a lot of good. But when I say our culture, I mean Black people. I'm not talking about Black people in Africa because I look at them as African American. It's a difference to me, in my opinion. Black people here, I feel like it's different because we went through slavery And we have a whole different attitude about things, even with like record labels signing girls. I look at how hip hop music has progressed, how it started to where it is now. Okay, so I don't want to say it's all trash because it's not, but
That's
there's
that's
so much
that's
going on.
that's not progress. That's regress. That's regression.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you for correcting me. But I see. Okay, I'll say the Matrix or the man or the people pulling those strings, how they are trying to use us black women and how they want to see our black men and how the video that we first watched as far as how the families are being split up and separated. There's so many different things. You also asked about what society was really good. And I really feel like the Nation of Islam, like back in the 60s, the 70s, and before welfare really started, I really feel like no, because we don't have black men in the families. And I'm saying we, not all of us, but the people who do, the black families who are married and together, they move out and they don't look back. So there's a difference. Okay, so I'm trying to touch on a few things I wanted to kind of answer, and I know that I did actually different from that response. I do feel like our culture is self-destructing a little bit. I don't think it's going to continue to go down that route because we have programs and organizations like this. I just feel like it is with music, and music is a big influencer over our kids.
Yep.
Huge.
Yep.
As well as it is big. I mean, they say the devil was the master of ceremony as far as an angel. So look, he's influenced. She, whatever. It's influenced people on a major level, and people don't feel as though they even can connect with their own individualness. So I have a lot of ideas and ways how I can change that, and I'm doing that through my music, and it's going to come out really, really soon. And I can't wait. I'm excited. But I also would promote other artists to do the same thing.
Okay.
So to answer the question that you just asked me, how would I change that, or how would I implement or bring forth change?
No. How are you gonna bring the youth along to take the place of the adults in your area?
It would be to help them identify themselves.
Okay.
Remember, I had mentioned normalizing who you are. Turn off the media, or just create new media. New role models.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't have to shake their booty. And I'm just being honest. Like, there's a time and a place. If I'm at a wedding and we're having fun and you giving them a little life and love, that's fine. But I have so many friends that's all they do, and I'll look at them like, is that all you want to be about? Is that all you want to do? You smoking? So how do you change that? You have to have people that are not afraid to just say the damn one thing. Say it. Stop. What else do you want to do with yourself? And you have to educate people. You really have to educate them, because I think it was a grand scheme to just dumb things down, dumb music down, dumb yourselves down. Don't reach your full potential. But being honest and saying that stuff is going to help, because somebody who's sitting there like, I'm tired of seeing this. Why is everybody doing this? Why are you inflating this? Why are you doing that? You're going to have a few people who are on that same level, and those people will grow to be those next people who are going to be role models and examples. Mm-hmm. And you just can't be afraid to say it, because it's already out there. It's too much to the left. We need more to the right. Yeah. So encouraging the youth to be who they are. And I only say that because I've had a lot of young people who love me and love my music, and they're like, but I don't sing like you, and I can't do it like you. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to. You have your own beautiful, unique technique and talent. And it's about nurturing that and fostering it. So conversations with each other, supporting each other, because people have a lot of gifts and natural skills and abilities that we just don't foster. Whereas somebody already has a game plan. Why don't you do it like that person? Why don't you be like this person? No, who are you? And try to help them connect to what they love, because that really is who they are. And I get this from my son. He is 21, just turned 21 July 22nd. He's autistic, and he's 6'5". I am a single mom, been divorced, but I've noticed the challenges that I've had with him. I've fought IEP meetings. I've won. I've got him placed in a non-public school setting, which helped him tremendously. But I've never stopped. Stop it. I've learned from him. It was something he told me. He said, because I wanted him to play football. Big. He's a big boy and he's tall. Come on, play football, play basketball. Mom, I'm not you. And I don't want to do that. And I just don't. So with that being said, I wanted to push him like a man would, like a father would. And I feel like he could respond better, but I am only a woman. So I'm doing the best that I can. But at the same time, he has taught me in so many ways to stop having so many expectations over him and let his process be allow him to have his own process. Of course, to encourage the young, encourage the youth, but everybody is different. With that being said, I say that because when I was 9, I started writing music. When I was 5, I knew I wanted to sing, and I knew I wanted to be a helper. I wanted to help people and help and sing and do music. There's people who don't know what they want to do. Allow them to find their process of what it is they love, because they may just want to go cook. And you got to accept that. Maybe they want to be a cook and they might have a product that they're putting out. So just allow people to accept themselves and to find and connect with their own individuality is very important.
Got it. We got 5 questions and they should go pretty fast if you guys keep your answers concise. And as it relates to the rap music, Sister Lynee, Tamani is not my birth name. The rap music that I was listening to when I was in the military literally sent me to the library because I wanted to figure out what they were talking about, literally. So that music is a powerful, powerful thing. And we just gotta, like Toby Wigway, we gotta take that music back. That is an awesome a rapper that's culturally affirming and positive 100%. So, all right, next question. Lynee, you first. So the Black Gold Nation's leadership selection process for this election ends this month. Ideally, if you were to win, you're going to have 5 to 7 people in media, marketing, and PR who are part of your cabinet, your national cabinet in media, marketing, and PR. What's going to be your first set of marching orders you're going to give your national cabinet to start moving forward in media, marketing, and PR?
First, I would want to sit down and talk to everybody to know what they're passionate about, to find out what their skills are, to find out what their level of expertise is. And I would honestly want to do what we were just talking about. Really, if we're going to be promoting, first it has to happen and generating money, because money is important. Mm-hmm. We have to support each other. We have to support ourselves, and money is important. So if we can set up something where we can market and push other people's product within our organization, Black owned, to keep bringing money and positive revenue in, I think that will be, I haven't sat down and talked to anyone, but I feel like I would want to do that, because you got to generate money. Everybody got to pay bills. We all have to eat. So to do that, to help other people grow, what do you do when someone helps you grow? You want to help back. So it creates a chain link where people want to give back and help. Not that you're indebted to this organization, but you're creating like you said, Ms. Norma, you're creating peopleism. I'm using your words, but you're doing that by helping. So if I could sit down with everybody, meet with everyone, and find out who's doing what, who's promoting what, who's putting out what, who has this. Let's get these products going. Let's blast it. Let's set up times where we will do certain things to do that for other people, because they're going to in turn help us back, because we're creating chain links of people that will help us back.
Okay, cool. Rawiel, what's going to be your first set of marching orders for your cabinet?
Well, it's very similar to what Lynee was saying. Is first find out where everybody's coming from, what everybody's already doing, because I would imagine that everybody else is just like I am. You're doing what you do.
That's right. Yep.
And to find out exactly what that is, and to see how Black Gold can get behind what everybody is doing. But ultimately, I think what would be in terms of marching orders, I think that one of the things that we really should have as an immediate an immediate action, an immediate goal, is to create something wherever we are that can be marketed and promoted under the Black Gold banner. Something that is because I believe in energy. I believe in synergy. So I believe that if we are all doing the same thing at the same time, that energy is going to resonate. I think that one of the another thing that we would need to do, let's say if you're talking 5 to 7 people, then that could possibly be, I'm assuming, 5 to 7 different locations across the globe. Sure. So then, 6 degrees of separation. Everybody knows somebody. reach out to that somebody in another location, in another city, in another state, in another country, so that we can expand our reach. And then again, synergy, what we do under the Black Gold banner is all happening at the same time, so that again, we're building, we're increasing that vortex around it, if you will.
Yeah, and your answer, Rawia, is a perfect segue to the next question. So I'm going to start with you. The candidate selection process ends this month. The election is the last weekend in September. Our inauguration, we're bringing everybody together in Houston, is in October, the last weekend in October. January 2023 moving forward, you're going to have 15 to 20 teams of Black people who want to take this Black Gold Nation thing back to wherever they live. And one person is going to say, I want to represent cultural affairs and diplomacy per Sister Norma's direction. So you've given us your first set of marching orders for your cabinet. What would be your first set of marching orders for your local grassroots teams on the ground as relates to your area?
I think it would be the same.
Okay.
Do what you are doing.
Okay.
Let's take what you are doing and let's magnify that.
Okay.
I know that everybody's got to be doing their own thing, right. or if you're not already doing it, you have a desire to do it. Mm-hmm. So now is the time. Now that you have made this commitment, now is the time to step up your game.
Right.
Now, how can we as a group, how can we support what it is that you're doing over there? How can we support what you're doing over there? Again, with the immediate goal of building synergy and getting behind some specific efforts, but it's still the same. It's what we've got to make sure that there is action behind our words, that what you say you are about, that there is actually something tangibly happening.
Right.
Because if you're doing something already, if you're doing something on your own, or if you have a desire and you're willing to partner with somebody to go ahead and bring those entities together, then you're moving the movement forward.
Right.
But if you're saying, I want to, but you're going home and that movement is not there, that action is not there, then we're back where we started. We're people in different places talking about, some kind of, utopia.
Right. Amen. Okay, Lynee, what's going to be your first set of marching orders for your local grassroots teams around the country?
So I would, first of all, definitely would start locally after doing that whole meeting and blasting our products amongst our Black community. I really would want to open up a nonprofit. I don't know if that's something that I would be able to do, or if you guys have already done that, or if it would be something that I can merge with one here in Baltimore. But opening up a nonprofit, sit down with an attorney to try to get different grants for funding, just to help with everything that I haven't really talked about any of the funding and things like that, but that's going to be needed. Also get people who want to volunteer. And a lot of times people just act like that, not everyone has time. Sure. So like the barter system, what can I do for you in order for you to help? You have good intentions, you want to help. Well, how can this organization benefit you? So I would reach out to people that I know are good people who want to help. Again, something I've been doing already with New Dawn Publishing, I call it CLC, cleaning out closets. And I would always just get people to donate instead of just throwing it away. I mean, that's just something I feel is really good. And doing so, it also is it would be attached to Black Gold, New Dawn Publishing. It's all doing good. It also just brings good benefits. Yes. I would also reach out to the local news, and this is at least the local news. I know we would try to set up something within our organization as well, but that's after meeting with the 5 to 7 people. But setting up, hold on, Nevada, please stop. Setting up a meeting with the local news. I actually know how to do that, and just let them know what we're doing.
Okay.
Hey, we want to do this. We want to reach out. We were trying to, and I haven't came up with all the ideas yet, but it is not hard to come up with ideas as far as implementing good things, from drama to helping out. I mean, because they're all there. Yeah. But reach out to them so that you can get people. You can have people to listen who are hearing that, who are already into doing that. So doing those few steps will help bring forward more. That would set off a chain reaction of more positivity. But definitely, I would want to sit down and try to do a nonprofit.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's something I can have to meet with you guys to know if that's doable.
Well, all of our local operations will be under the guise of a for-profit. Black O Nation is a nonprofit, but all of our conscious community centers will be for-profit operations. And what you were saying about everybody coming together, find out who has what products, that's going to be a big part of that, because we want to put our people's products on display. So good answer. Next question, Lynee. Why should someone vote for you?
Okay.
Cliff notes.
You should vote for whoever you want to vote for. If you vote for me, you're getting someone who is passionate. Okay. I'm going to be honest. If I don't know everything, which I don't, I'm going to be honest. If I'm in a leader role, which I have been before, people didn't even know. I know that sounds wrong or weird, but I've put on shows and they didn't know who was the boss behind the show, because I listened to everybody within my group to make sure it's a partnership. So I'm not a dictator. I just know how to make things work as far as business. Yeah. And I listen to people around me because I want everybody to be happy, because when everybody's happy, it's an evenly yoked situation and it feels good. So I'm not like someone who's going to say, hey, do it. It's just more like a unity thing that I'm promoting. So if you vote for me, you're voting for me because you feel as though I'm a good candidate to help the cause. And I would definitely be working with passion and I can get the job done. And I'm open to ideas. I don't know it all, obviously. So I'm willing to learn as well. I'm willing to learn and grow, but I know the passion is there. And I what I put my mind to, I get done.
Amen. All right. Rawia, why should someone vote for you?
Well, Tamani, actually, they shouldn't.
Okay.
You know, I wouldn't want anyone to vote for me. Vote for the cause.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, you've got this video, you've got 30 others, whoever the other people are who are candidates for this same position. Listen to what we're saying. And, you know, let your heart be your guide and make sure that it's not a personality thing, that it's not, you know, there's nothing about me. It's about what this cause is and what speaks best to that cause. And that's it. Okay.
So the next question is, why should someone not vote for you? Have you already answered that?
Already answered.
Okay. All right, Lynee.
Why should someone not vote for me? I mean, if you feel as though I'm not qualified, you know, if why should you not vote for me? Okay. This isn't the truth because I'm actually here for a reason, but maybe if you don't want to vote for me, you feel as though I'm already pulled in. I have other things I'm doing, but I feel like those things could actually help catapult what we need to be. I can be a spokesperson or a visionary for the cause. If you don't, I don't know, maybe if you don't want me to be there, and with all respect, that's okay. It's okay.
Okay, so last question. Lynee, if you could only have one takeaway from everything we've discussed here tonight that people have with them for the rest of their lives, those that are watching live and those that watch recording, one takeaway from everything we've discussed here tonight, what would that one takeaway be?
Okay, so the word takeaway, I'm looking at it in two different ways. I need you to specify exactly what you mean. If it's one thing I can emphasize or if it's something I could change.
Something that we've talked about that you want people to remember for the rest of their lives.
Okay, that's the takeaway. So it's actually what Miss Norma said. Just even your term peopleism is stuck with me. I like it, and that's something that we need to be about. I mean, peopleism is good, and also what I mentioned, love. Do it with love, because you have people who will do things that's something positive, but you're not doing it with the right intentions. So peopleism and love, if you're really, you know, you need to help someone, do it because you want to help them, because you would want someone to help you. So peopleism and love, a little bit of Norma and Lynee. No, I really like peopleism, but I hear people say things like that, but you know, do it for the right reason. Do it out of love, you know?
Okay, Rawia, you get one takeaway.
That's it. We are a people. No other group on this planet has been called to be, and I mean called by creation, to be, to do for humanity that we have. And if we wonder what that is, go back to the beginning and trace our journey. We are a people, and that is important to the salvation of the earth.
Right, I say to people all the time that the world is out of balance because Black people are out of balance. Once we get ourselves right, once we get ourselves back into balance, then the world will follow us because that's what they do anyway. Everything we do, we take to another level and we make funky. This would be a boring ass planet if Black people weren't on it. So I'm not gonna do my normal closing. We're already over the limit. So I just want to say thank you to your sisters for being here. I appreciate it sincerely. Always remember two things. No one can do everything, but if everyone does something, everything will get done. And lastly, always remember that nothing is more sacred than the empowerment and freedom of Black people, because the Black people don't make it. You're not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. Our kids, our children, our grandkids, our families ain't gonna make it because they're connected to the Black group. So with that, thank you guys very much. God bless. I will be in touch, and you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Bless. Nice to meet you.